Welcome to the mental edge.
Like I said, a little leg showing. We're going to shut that one down right now, ladies. We are both taken. Dang. I always was jealous of dudes who could kind of sit femininely, but I realized I just have big balls and it hurts. so that's out now.
That's out now. Yeah, you could do the half squeeze.
Yeah.
You're good on the half squeeze, but
Right.
not the full tilt, right? I get
Yeah.
it. We're back rolling on a weekly basis, right?
Yeah.
And so today, what are we talking about?
We picked the topic, do you experiment with yourself?
Do you experiment with yourself? Yeah.
So when I first read that,
Yeah.
okay, you meant that then.
I literally meant it. I want to know. I want to know if guys are just, they're stay in the rut and we know the definition of insanity is
Yeah, same thing over and over.
Expecting
the
a different
same-
result.
Yeah, different result, yeah.
Right.
So you're wondering if guys are staying stagnant or if they're experimenting with themselves.
there's so much freaking knowledge on social media about you should try this, you should do
try
this,
that,
you
yeah.
should try this,
Exactly.
everything from the cold plunges. You just
Yep.
see it. It's on my feed all the time. Maybe
Yeah.
because they're all linked to self-improvement, and of course we're always
Trying to
consuming that
yeah.
content,
Yeah.
right?
Part of this podcast is like self-development.
Let's be honest,
Right.
guys. Growth. Continual, perpetual, manly growth.
Listen to what I say.
I don't want to be the guy that was stuck in, 1993.
Yeah.
Parachute pants, decaf Ricci's.
Which was great.
I love
You
it.
killed it.
Yeah. But IOU sweatshirts. You remember
Yes,
those?
IOU sweatshirts.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But we don't want to live there today.
Or
right?
or is that literally? Are you going to spend the rest of your life going, "Wow, that was the best time of my life"? That's
Well,
crazy.
Okay. Or example. Okay, so we do bring up past experiences with sports.
Yes.
And things that we did in high school, but we also do things today, or in now time, right? Like we ran. I did a mud run.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Where you're
There you
going
go.
You did a savage race.
Yes.
Right. With
Same,
who?
yeah.
Who'd you do that with?
Me and Shisha, Felicia,
And-
my
yeah,
daughter.
And how old were you when you did that?
Oh man, I was in my 40s.
No, you were in your what? It had
I
to
wasn't
be,
50. I was like 45 on the
Were
money.
you? It was that long ago. Didn't seem that
Oh
long.
yeah,
ago.
it was before Missy started running. So she wasn't
okay.
even a runner then.
So 45 years old,
Yeah.
you decided to do a savage race, get
Yep.
electrocuted at the end, right?
Yeah, that was right. I got on one of those races. I got knocked out by electricity.
Just really quickly, how'd that go?
That was a different race. That was the Tough Mudder.
Yeah, I did
and then
those.
one of
I
the
did
things
those.
is you're gonna run through this grid of electricity, and in some of the lines that hang are 10,000 volts, which sounds deadly, but apparently it's not deadly. But I kept watching these people trip. I'm like,
Okay.
man, these freaking people. So you jump over some hay
Yeah.
and there's water. And then you jump over some hay and there's water. And imagine a big rectangle of this,
Yeah.
but hanging from above it are these wires. And you're supposed to just cover your head and run
go.
through this water and jump over those Bay of Hails. And I kept seeing people trip. And I'm like, they're lame.
Lame. How they
Turns
tripping?
out you just get zapped. And so I got zapped and it scared the shiznit out of me. So I fell to the right. So when I fell to
sorry,
the
bro.
right,
Yeah.
Junior, there was a dude emceeing and he goes, "Oh, he's not going to make it." So Jay Wizzle from
Yeah.
Lake Station
Yeah.
said, "Brother, I'm coming through this mofo." I got up, I ran diagonally. I think I took two of them wires and when it zapped me, I got a dose of both.
You crossed the wires.
I blacked out. I woke up after I hit the water. I don't remember what happened for a minute. I lost some time.
10,000 volts. At that moment, you had possibly 20,000 volts running through your body. The
Yes.
current knocked you down. You hit the floor. Mud flies everywhere. And then you just crawl out? Or you
I
get
crawled
up and
out,
keep
and the
running?
rest of the race was difficult because I had an erection. But it was all about
my
experimenting,
God.
right? It was all about
right.
doing something I had never done
yeah,
before.
yeah.
And that's why, I feel like we need to talk about this a little bit.
I like it. All right. So, oh my goodness. I know that you are experimenting with something new right now.
Yes.
Right? Do you want to start off there? Or how do you
Yeah,
want
we can start off there.
Yeah. I like that one.
We can start off there because, right now I'm coming out. The summer season, it was a little chaotic for my
Yeah.
family. So me and Ryder were working out. So my schedule, a lot of my schedule switched up.
Okay.
Okay, but I had done some cool stuff for myself, personal development at the beginning of the year.
Right. You
And
want
I
to go
did
through
that.
some of that? Just
I did. I'll just glance on that, but that's going to be a whole podcast in itself,
Yeah.
guys. What I did was, for the first 8 weeks of the year until I turned 50, which is March 5th, every Monday morning I did a social media full food fast. I did not eat again. So Sunday night I ate my last meal.
Yeah.
I didn't eat food again until Tuesday morning. And then I used that, and that'll be a whole time. I don't want to go deep into that, please, but it is an example of experimenting with yourself because I had been reading a lot of research and listening to a lot of people, and of course we're Jesus guys.
Yeah.
I said, here's how I'm going to do it, and that's going to be about parallel benefits and why things that you think are for one thing also benefit others when we talk about that.
Exactly.
But what I did was I said, while I do this, I'm going to, every time I suffer, Junior, every time I was in pain, I was going to say, Lord, all I need is you.
But in the spirit of full transparency, I gotta be honest, sometimes I felt like I needed ham and a beef sandwich.
Oh my goodness.
So,
I
right,
remember
I'm
this.
going to take
Yeah.
those moments, right? All I need is you, because I know I'm not going to die.
Yeah.
Right. So then after that was done, I kind of had this hiatus because we're concentrating on Ryder making a transformation and he's off. So I said, what is Jay going to do? And then I started thinking about what Fernando had mentioned that he did, and I'm like, well, what can I implement into my life that I'm already doing? I'll just switch it up. And I'm like, well, I normally shower and people are doing these cold plunges.
Yep.
I'm like, what is it going to hurt me? Now I can listen to what people say the benefits are. I can listen to all that stuff. I already know that if something is hard to do,
Right.
no matter what it is, in a way, it's good for me.
Hit the record button.
Yeah.
And if you want to know what's hard to do, turn on that shower
Yeah.
and walk into that water
Yeah.
in the AM, bro.
Yeah.
And it's so demeaning because your stuff is going to shrivel up. It's going to turtle right in there.
So this cold shower.
So I decided I'm going to start doing I know you had done it for a long time, and I'd love for you to talk about.
Oh yeah.
This is just one aspect, guys. Why am I doing this? Because I feel like that I'm hungry for change. I'm
Yes.
hungry for growth.
Yeah.
And if I don't think something's going to hurt me,
Yeah.
I might try it. And
Yeah.
we want to know, guys, if you're doing it. But Fernando, talk a little bit about your
So
your
initially,
showers.
I came across a guy that was doing cold showers and polar plunges, and I've always been interested in doing that one in Chicago.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
polar plunge in
Yeah.
Chicago where you go into, and I missed it this last year, but I said, you know what? Even though I missed the actual polar plunge, I want to go ahead and implement taking cold showers into my life for a few benefits. The first initial benefits that, I'll just say 7 benefits were like increased awareness, right? Or alertness. So I wanted to be more alert. Refined hair and skin. I felt like that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Refined immunity and circulation. Stimulate weight loss. Because I wasn't going to the gym as often, I wanted to maintain my weight. Speed up muscle soreness and recovery.
Wow, I
felt
love
like-
that. I
yeah.
love that.
I felt like that was going to be important. And then, but like I said, I wasn't working out as much, but I knew that if I could get used to it, when I get back into the gym, it would work. And then relieves depression. Even though I wasn't suffering from depression, I still want to work towards things that, you know what I'm saying?
And you
It's
build
like
resiliency.
maintenance.
I love that. There you go.
Yeah,
That's the best term.
maintenance. So those were, but what's crazy is, as hard as it was
Yes.
to get it done, I did it for a total of 9 months.
Full tripping.
I did it for a total of 9 months.
9
Yeah.
months.
9 months, yeah, including polar plunges. In those 9 months, I did all kinds of stuff, and I started in the wintertime, so it was already
Oh
cold.
my gosh.
Yeah. One thing I learned is that you become immune to the cold a little bit, and there is a difference between taking a cold shower and plunging your entire body.
I can't even imagine that.
Yeah. So the whole the cold shower thing is super intense and it's
Yeah.
hard. But I tested the water in after some study. I tested the water. How cold can your shower water get? Okay.
Yeah.
So in order for you to get the maximum benefits, right, from cold showers, another really good benefit is it releases hormones, like 3 types of hormones, and I wrote here that it's called the sympathetic nervous system, or flight or fight response.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This makes you either want to. This is the thing that makes you either want to yell or run when you first jump in the shower. I always used to preface my family and tell them, if you hear me yelling or screaming in the morning, and I'm in the and I'm locked in the bathroom, it's because
Yeah, don't call the cops.
yeah, I've just taken a cold shower.
Yeah.
Right. And it would. I mean, it's that whole.
I know there's a weird breathing thing that happens.
to you, and it's kind of hard to catch your breath.
Yes.
That's a whole thing. That's that in itself, right? So, I realized like your home shower can get up to about 50. You need the water to be around 60 in order to get all the benefits from the cold,
Okay.
right? I went all in. I'm that kind of guy. So like if I see the polar plunge, now that I've done it multiple times, I have to just jump in. If the water's cold, I just jump right in. I don't like tiptoe in or walk in. I just gotta just jump in. Same thing with the showers. I would run the water nice and cold, ice cold. I already know. I'm putting it all the way down, and I wait 30, 40 seconds. I know that thing is freezing, and then I just jump in.
Yeah, I love it.
Tell me now your experience.
Yeah, so
And when you're done, I want to tell you what happened when I stopped.
one of the reasons why, let me just say this, one of the reasons why I want to do it is because I didn't want to do it. Okay, I just got to be
Yeah.
honest with you.
No,
like,
that's the
so
truth.
if
That's the
there's
truth.
something I don't like to, I remember.
I used to bring it up to you all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can't even get in Lake Michigan without like holding on to my balls because I don't want, that
yeah,
first
I get
time,
it. Right.
And Junior, you're right. So when you get in that water, like first thing, you get into the back of the shower, right? And then it starts to hit your ankles and your shins.
yeah.
And then you're going to immerse yourself in just a second. And then your breathing changes.
Oh, yeah.
But what I've learned, here's another thing I want you to know. You can learn, you can teach yourself, guys, that you're only going to suffer for so long.
Absolutely brilliant.
That you're only going to suffer for so long.
True that.
So think about what you're practicing as you experiment with yourself.
I love this.
You're teaching yourself, you know what? This sucks for 95 seconds, and then something that Jesus made me to do takes over. All of a sudden, you're like, did that water get warmer? No. I think some neurons are firing under your skin.
That's right.
And all of a sudden, you are now more resilient to something that you could not fathom doing.
Wow. Yeah.
Now you start to practice that on a daily basis.
Yes.
There's no,
I love
Junior, it's no coincidence that when someone goes in for a stress test, they make them run, right?
Yeah.
So I do believe when we talk about mental edge principles that you can practice being uncomfortable and become comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah. That's one of the notes I took. Stay calm and not overreact when stresses come your way.
Yeah. You begin to acclimate. So you practice handling adversity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It builds tremendous resiliency and grit. Grit.
Bam.
Grit.
I love it. So this is what I wanted to say. Now, listen, I love you. I'm churchy. We're churchy. But I got out of the shower now, and there's something that goes on with you, Junior. There's a buzzing that lasts for about, I don't know, an hour before I go to work. And it's an hour where I walk around the house a little bit, and I'm thinking, me and Ryder should wrestle because I feel a little bit like a badass right now.
You do.
I'm just being honest. I feel like, I'm like, man, I don't know, guys.
Yeah.
I just know that if I didn't try it,
Right.
if I didn't experiment with myself in a controlled capacity, I wouldn't even be able to have this conversation with you.
How cool is that? Yeah. And I think when you were 45, that's when you inspired me.
Oh, yeah, you told the story.
we
Yeah, I
told
love
story.
that. You make me feel so good.
So I feel like, taking those risks with yourself, you're going to learn about yourself.
Yes. Amen.
And that grit that you're building will transfer itself to other areas of your life. Maybe the workplace, right? Maybe like what else? Where else could you see a transfer like that?
Well, so I love what you're talking about right now because what we're saying, guys, is like these things you you don't realize how much they affect other major aspects of your life. Like, okay, so now, Junior, all of a sudden now I'm taking cold showers and I'm coming out and I'm feeling a little bit like, wow, like did that affect my confidence? Later on in the day, later on in the day, I get that, normally I would have gotten into that argument, but I'm just like, you know what, man, dude, you got nothing for me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Are you kidding me? Like, I started off the day in 35-degree water.
Right.
You don't come to me. You think you can't wrinkle my dinkle.
Those level at one time, those level 6 and 7 problems are now 2 and 3 problems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? Like
you recalibrate.
Yes.
And that's just one example of experimentation. What you did for me, Junior, was I would listen to you intently, and what I would notice is that you were always experimenting with disciplines.
Correct.
Right? You would add them to your life.
Yeah.
And they weren't there before, and they were always inconvenient. Right? There's this element of experimentation where most people, the reason they're experimenting is because they've never done it before, which probably there's an element of fear which has deterred you from doing it before.
Yeah. One did hurt me. One experimentation hurt me.
Please.
Yeah, it hurt me for a while, right? So
I
wasn't really good at doing pull-ups, and in school I never won any contests doing that. So I wanted to really
I remember watching this.
Yeah.
You were doing them everywhere, Junior.
It was
cranking them out.
Yep, 700 in 1 month.
Yeah, I saw you do them
700.
like you were in like a park pavilion.
Yeah. Oh.
And you grabbed onto a beam and cranked them out.
That was old Columbus Park.
I love it.
Right. So that experiment though led to me pulling some tendons in my elbows and bicep area, which I couldn't recover unless I rested, and that rest took a long time, right? So, but I learned tricks to, during that time, I learned that the areas that got hurt because there was other weaknesses in my arms that I wasn't attending to. So now I'm building a solid foundation so that when I get back to that level, I won't get hurt this time.
Yeah.
So it's important. Like you said, I wouldn't have known that if I didn't go through it.
No, I love that, and I can see like people testing themselves in areas where, guys, I'm not just only talking about I'm going to wake up and every day I'm going to have a protein shake. That's cool. I like that. So I'm going to I'm going to have this for breakfast every day. But guys, we could do this in our marriages.
Yeah,
we can experiment with. Like let me tell you something. A golden thing someone told me one time was, look, instead of complaining to your wife about what she isn't doing, wait until she does it, and then compliment her and say, that means so much to me, and then just leave it alone. Right. You see how you can interject this. Basically, it's a consciousness or an effort that's other than normal, which is an experiment. Into all these aspects of your life, your work life. You were told me, Junior, that you decided to wake up and do what? Make
my bed.
Bed.
Yeah, make my bed every morning.
It's such a simple discipline.
Yeah, it's a simple discipline.
See if this affects me, man.
Yeah, I wanted that one was because I wanted to start off my day on a good note and accomplish something.
Yeah.
Right? So the accomplishment first thing in the morning was doing my bed, whether I was in the bed alone or with my wife. It didn't matter. So if she was still laying down, I'd just make the bed around.
She'd wake up to a half-made bed.
Yeah, half-made bed, right? She could come get off the bed but
she's like, why is it so tight?
But she does that now.
Yeah.
So if I'm in bed when she leaves, she just
that's cool, man.
And I get up and I just got to do my side of the bed, right?
Yeah.
So that's something that we practiced, and I actually. That's one of the disciplines that when I do Man in the Making, that's one of the things that the guys have to do for the whole entirety of the time that they're in the Man in the Making program,
Yes.
And they got to clean the bathroom. They got to, wash dishes. They got to cook a meal for their mom. You are like the primary cook at your house.
Sometimes, right.
Yeah.
When we're both working
Yeah.
full time,
Right.
I'm probably going to do 70% of the cooking in my home. Yeah,
Right. And I realized that when we were doing this podcast in your house, right? I have to. That challenges me, right? Because I don't do that, and I'm like, man, how can I incorporate? Well, even if it's peanut butter and jelly, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've seen some of your meals, and I'm just like, dude, he's genius, right? it just you take something that's not, I don't know. I mean, it's healthy.
Like an egg sandwich.
Yeah, like an egg
and
sandwich.
And dress it up with carrots and hummus. Yes.
And apples and peanut butter.
Yeah,
and the
which
whole thing.
we're the product
Right.
of experimentation.
Yes.
I'd like to add.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I've seen that before, and I thought to myself, man, that's a cool discipline. I don't know if you were raised that way. I wasn't, but I think that's really cool.
No, thank you, and So a lot of times guys will ask us.
Yeah.
They'll ask us advice, and we might say, well, dude, I know I don't have time to take care of yourself, but have you thought about getting up in the morning, like before? Because we know that time will end up evolving for you. You'll be amazed. You'll end up praying. But my point is, the first thing they'll say is, well, I can't do that. So basically what you're saying is it's impossible, or you're not worthy of experimenting with yourself a little bit. Or they'll say, well, like, I've been trying to lose weight. I've been running a lot. And I'm like, but dude, have you decided to go in and maybe lift some weights?
Yeah.
No, I never like that. I don't want to do that. Right? So what we want you to understand is, I think it's hugely important to understand that we don't expect you to experiment with things that you like all the time. By all means, if you want to be a better drummer, like Junior, or a better guitar player, way better than me, play more guitar, experiment. Like if I added because there's this rule, right? If I add 18 minutes a day, you'll be better than, there's some amazing statistic. You're going to be better than 99% of the people on the planet if you do 18 minutes a day. By all means. But I want you to know something. Some of the stuff that holds men back is the fact that they won't test themselves doing the things that are hard for them. They won't experiment with themselves and jump in the cold shower because that's so uncomfortable. They won't tell themselves, you know what, I'm going to eat clean for the next 4 months. Like all that 75 hard stuff.
Yeah.
Basically, those people for 75 days experiment with the way they're living their life.
Yeah.
They radically transform what they're doing with their time.
Yeah.
They experiment with their time usage.
Yep.
And then in that system, which is, if you're into that, guys, it's laden with a lot of harsh language because there's a mindset I think he's trying to trigger in a man.
Right.
In that system are life transformational skill developments.
Yeah.
That only come from doing things that are hard. That's why it's called 75 hard, right?
Yeah, 75 the hard way.
So that's why we're like, how you could start like just dabbling in that stuff? You could have the courage to experiment a little.
Yeah. While you were talking, I'm not going to go off topic, but I would just want to add that I want to piggyback off what you said. And I heard experiences add up over time.
Yeah. Love that.
So when you were, and this is where it came
That's
from.
great,
You
man.
said that if I add X amount of stuff for 2 minutes a day, blah, 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 right? Now think of it this way, guys. You are going to experiment with yourself, right? You're going to try something like right now. Let's say from the age of 45 and right now you're 50 years old, right? So from the age of 45 to 50, if you did 3 experiments a year, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
In 5 years, that's 15 different experiments.
Yeah.
Let's say you live to be 100 years old,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
Yeah.
You're radically different than you would have been.
3 times 50. It's a lot of experimenting. That's a lot of stories you can tell your grandkids. That's a lot of life experiences you could have. The alternative is doing nothing. Right?
Yeah.
And
which is what scares us, right? which scares us for our brothers, Junior.
Yes, that's what scares me.
So I love what you're saying, though, because you're also saying, look, the process of experimentation with yourself, like when you tell your grandkids, your grandpa, and you're sitting in your lap, Grandpa used to where Grandpa woke up and did 300 push-ups.
Yeah.
From the time he was 30 to the time he was 85.
Right.
Like, that is the most interesting grandpa on the planet.
Man.
What are you going to tell that grandpa
Right.
that decided he's going to do push-ups every day?
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, his grandson is like, my grandpa's a bad dude, right? I
Right,
mean,
for sure.
and by the way, grandpa is a bad dude.
Yeah. And that same blood runs through your veins.
It runs through. Like, you become a different human being, but
Yeah.
nothing happens unless you take the first step and you say, look, I'm about this transformation. I'm about this next level.
Right.
What can I do that's radically different? That doesn't hurt anybody, and you don't even got to tell anybody, guys. We would love for you to message me and Fernando and say, hey, I've been doing this. I've been reading. I've been dedicating myself to reading a book a month.
Oof. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Right?
awesome.
Something cool, guys. Tell us what you're doing to continue to perpetually grow as a man.
You said making your bed, social media fasting.
Yes.
That's something that you
social
talked
media,
about.
Social
Yeah,
media
you could
fast,
even-
right?
Yeah. You could even talk about, or we could even mention like asking a girl out, right? For the younger guys.
Like, what is stopping you from asking that girl out?
Yeah.
What is it? It's fear.
Right.
And you haven't tried it even one time? Shoot your shot, bro.
Yeah.
One time.
One time. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She could say no,
It could be the one too.
but she could say yes. Be a man.
Yeah.
Ask out a stripper. No, I'm just joking. That's one of my favorite.
Yeah,
I made
yeah.
laugh. You know,
Yeah.
that's not good advice, right?
No, that guy, he's funny.
Yeah.
I know that we're probably be closing it out
Yeah.
here soon, but I did write horrible ideas.
Yes.
And
Woo, here we go.
so I wrote a couple, but as I say these, if anything pops into your head, Jay, dude, please
All right,
just
get
spit it out because I already know. So horrible ideas, right? Have you ever seen men nowadays? Like, there's like videos of them doing the labor pain simulator.
Oh yeah, it's a bad idea. Leave that to the ladies.
That's a bad idea.
They put that on their abs, right?
Dude,
Crank
yeah.
it up.
Yeah.
The ladies love it.
Oh yeah, but I think that's a bad idea.
That's a bad idea.
Right? Let's go back to grade school. Eraser burn. You
Oh,
remember when they used
yeah,
to do the eraser burn, right? And you still got scars. And then I kind
Oh
of
my
coupled
gosh.
that up with turning off cigarettes on your forearm, which I still have.
You put them out on your
I
forearm?
put one out on my forearm, and I still have the.
Did you impress
the
her
mark.
when you did that?
Dude, it was a bunch of guys, dudes, just
Oh.
acting a fool.
Acting
right?
a fool, man.
Yeah, it's just like.
Yeah.
Bad idea, guys. Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, I would say bleeding and being on fire. Leave all those alone.
Yeah. leave all those
Purposely
alone.
bleeding and purposely
then the last two are kind of like I see like in it was in high school. Yeah, we had a guy that was like snorting those little tarts that they crush them up and snort those.
Yeah.
and eating glass.
You eating glass. Leave that.
leave that.
Yeah, leave that for America's
alone,
Got
right?
Talent.
Yeah. So yeah, I was trying to be funny a little bit and. Because we know that there's certain things that we might pick up that are bad for you, not good for you.
Yeah.
You know?
Get advice of a doctor, guys, if you're gonna start some radical training program.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, don't be 50 and all you can do is talk about that you have the same problems and the same stagnant life that you had when you were 30.
Yeah.
That just can't. That's not your story. You deserve a better story than that.
I told myself I was going to jump out of a plane before 50. I did. Right?
Perfectly good
That's what I
plane.
did.
That's
Perfectly good
incredible.
plane, and
That's
I
incredible.
jumped out. And that took a lot of like mental fortitude for me because I'm like, yeah, this plane is actually
See,
there's nothing wrong with it.
that is like an experiment. That's also like a bucket list goal.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Yeah.
And
Or to climb a mountain, right?
right. That's like a bucket list goal, but it's technically like an experiment with yourself because
It
you're
is.
wondering, do I have what it takes to do
Yes,
this?
yes,
Right?
yeah.
But you could even
And I'm
start
afraid
smaller.
of heights. I'm afraid of heights.
And there you go.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
So
right.
that was testing something that actually was a fear for you. Yeah, that's phenomenal. But guys, by all means, start small. Just say that, I'm giving up pop.
Right.
Like and then don't and listen. What we want you to do on the Mental Edge, as Mental Edge listeners, is we want you to know that when you experiment with yourself in areas like this and you give things up, that it's not just limited to the conventional benefit.
Right.
That's what you want to do. You want to think about in your car. Guys, we know you deserve and you need your quiet time. You're driving to work. You're thinking about your life and your family and your love and your relationship with God, and you turn the radio off, right? And I want you to think about how things are connected.
Right.
All of a sudden, you give up something that's killing you, and not only do you look better, but you're like, wow, I was able to run around with my kid today.
Oh, awesome.
It's incredible, guys.
Yeah.
Why we want you to experiment with yourself is because we believe that you'll begin to discover how deeply things are connected.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful mindset when you start to realize that growth in one area blesses you in another area.
Oh yeah, I love that. And fellas, remember, these disciplines can transfer to the other areas of your life, and that's important. You know, determination, grit are formed during these times. So these are some of the things that we talked about, and you know, I'm so glad that we had this conversation.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jay, for sending me the email.
Yeah. So
awesome.
a couple of weeks we're gonna have a doctor
final?
in here.
Wow.
Right, and it's going to be exciting because we're going to talk about something that should be intuitive and we should just take for granted, and that's breathing.
Whoa.
Because she's going to drop some like truth bombs about the way people breathe.
Right.
And Dr. Catherine Murphy will be here, and it's going to be a lot of fun. We might have one episode before she gets in here. I think she'll be here on the 31st, but regardless, we got a lot of good things.
Yeah.
We got a lot of good things in the pipipeline, man. And especially a new good look, right? We're looking good.
How do you guys like the lights?
We should, right?
Right. The new seats, the new atmosphere.
So if you're listening, we did improve the audio a little bit, but also check us out on YouTube because there's a visual aspect.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
All right, brother. This is Fernando Lopez Jr.
I'm Jay Casey.
This is the Mental Edge Podcast.
And we out. We out.
Sincerely hope you enjoyed this episode of the Mental Edge Podcast. Please remember to like, subscribe, follow, and share. Until next week, we out.